Hey guys, so it's me, Nicolette Mashile, and today I want to talk a little bit about wealth creation. And really, I just feel like most of us are not coming from being inheritance babies, so we didn't have anything that our parents necessarily have given us, or to give us like that portion, that advantage. And everything that our parents have given us is really education, and you can understand how important education is to them, because that's literally like the gift that some of our parents were only able to give us, right? Especially in our adult lives. So most of us had to start literally at zero, right? For some people, they even started at a minus, but most of us, if we're just speaking in general, probably started at zero, right? And I think that for me, building and creating generational wealth is really a good start for you as a person. Number one, it will eradicate the thing that we call black tax in South Africa. And black tax basically is this burden that a lot of people, young people, are feeling because they have to now take care of their families back home. But sometimes it's not even necessarily a tax, it's more of a family responsibility, because they have done so much to get you through school. You also feel like you gotta pay it back, so you help your cousins, your siblings, and whoever, right? Anyway, so I want to speak specifically about a 7th R theory of creating wealth. It was created by Dhaval Bhatia. He spoke about it at one of his TED Talk conversations, but I'm not going to literally speak on the 7 R's because for me they are not as relevant in my life. But I will mention the 7th R so that you get a better understanding of what the 7R theory is actually and what it's about. So by the way, I'm going to be doing my MBA next year. Very excited. Yes. And my research is going to be around the impact of financial literacy on young hustlers, right? So young hustlers are people that are literally wherever you are in the world, and you're just trying to increase your income streams. You're trying to push, you're trying to build, you're trying to, become a little bit more money smart, but also you're trying to actually build capital, build long-lasting businesses, have a flourishing career in your job. So that's literally what a young hustler is, right? But what I'm finding and what I'm seeing a lot is that these young hustlers are literally like sacrificing their health, sacrificing their lives, their livelihoods. Sometimes people are staying up late at night pushing out proposals. Some people are literally working even on weekends to try and make as much money as possible, but it doesn't really help them create wealth, because at the end of the day, their financial literacy levels are so low that they actually don't keep that money. I told you guys about doing one simple example. Go into your bank account now, look for the last 12 months bank statements, and look at how much money has actually gone through your account. That will be very sobering for you. I sat the other day with one of my bank managers, and literally, guys, I was just disgusted at the amount of money that has gone through my account. My account is like a parking garage. My money literally goes there, parks for like a little bit, and then it goes somewhere else, right? So you kind of spend your entire time spending this money on other things that you didn't really plan for. So remember, it is not about how much money you make, it's literally about how much money you keep. So let's get straight into those 7 R's. The 7 R's that Dhaval speaks about is rate, remuneration, rent, royalty, rights, return, and the 7th one is replication. But let's start with the rate one. The rate one, there are two of these R's that are active. These are ways in which you make active money, right? So the rate basically is you selling goods. It's you finding a product, creating your own product, and selling it. I remember a couple of years ago, I used to sell Avon products, and I wasn't trying to get rich from selling Avon products. I was just trying to make an additional income stream, so that income stream could take care of my drinking habits, because I was not trying to pay for my drinking habits through my own salary. For some people, that rate comes from selling Herbalife, selling TLCT, TLCT that we just been sold, and like it's gonna make you lose weight, and it really doesn't. Waist trainers, people are selling weaves, people are selling shoes. These are usually products that you don't necessarily have to create yourself, but you sell. So you just become like an accredited reseller of these products if you are really accredited. But that doesn't mean you must go start Instagram boutiques and cheat us out of our money. Right, let's move on to the next R. The next R is remuneration. So remuneration is a very easy one. A lot of us go to work and we get paid a salary, right? The only problem is that, and I hear this often, people will say, yeah, I don't want a job because I can't control my hours. I feel like I'm building someone else's dreams. No, you are not. Because what you essentially are doing is you're creating another income stream. The question though that stands is how much of your time, what percentage of your time in a day are you spending at this job where you are being remunerated? So generally remuneration comes in all different forms, whether you are a freelancer, whether you are in a full-time job. At some point you actively have to do the job so you can get remunerated, right? The third one is rent. rent. And rent is literally getting your money through rental services. So a lot of people, when you talk about rent, they start thinking, ooh, property, how am I ever going to afford property? No, it doesn't always have to be property. Wait until you can afford property that you can rent out. There are various things that you can rent out. If you've got a car and you've got a job where you come back home at 4 o'clock and your car sits up until the next day at 7 o'clock, put your car to work. Put it into Uber Eats, put it into Mr. Delivery, put it into like a chore, whatever, where you are delivering and you're fetching things, you're collecting people. So there are various ways in which you can rent your car. I always say, one day when I have the time, I'm going to buy a van and I'm going to put it at home, Kokasi, in the rural areas where people don't have cars to go and do their grocery shopping. So I will be doing that lift service where I'm taking them to town to buy their stuff, lifting them, because those people buy like 12 kgs of mealie meal or 80 kgs of mealie meal and they don't have any mode of transport to be able to take that stuff back home. So you would step in with your van, bricks, cement, building materials. So I've seen these guys that will park their cars at like Cash Build, or I don't know what the other one is called, and they literally just say van for rent, and that's literally how they make their money. So there are several other things that you can rent out. You can even rent out wigs, guys. I've seen a wig rental services where a person doesn't necessarily want to buy a wig, but they don't have a hairstyle, their hairline is dying like mine, and they just feel like, you know what, I've got an event tonight, I want to actually just wear a wig for a day, I don't want to buy an entire wig. So a wig rental place would be great. And no, it's not unhygienic, these things get washed, relax yourself. But there are other things that you can really rent out. You can even rent, like I bought a camera, I'm now renting out my camera, right? So I bought a camera, I'm building a studio that I can rent out. So there are many things that you can rent out. It's not always property, and a lot of people think it's just property that you can rent out, so you can make some money from rent. And again, these income streams are supposed to together make you a substantial amount of money, but on their own they might not make you that huge amount of money, but it's something that's really worth thinking about, right? Anyway, let's move to the next R. The next R is royalty. Royalty can be earned by writing, publishing books, publishing your own poetry, publishing your own music. Like literally, it's you being paid royalties, right, for use of your stuff. So you get paid for every single time. So let's say, for instance, most of you guys who have done your honors or your masters have thesis where you've done research. Publish that material. I mean, now you've got time, you've got no more pressure to actually pass a degree. So sit down, redo your research, kind of like rewrite it. You got better English now because you spend some time talking to other people. So research, add more to your research and publish like research. Most of us spend our Christmases in the rural areas. Do some research around the rural areas. I know that brands are always looking for some research, even if it's not necessarily just research around writing. Even these days, people do research on video. They use videos to do research, vox pops, go into the streets. So basically your royalties, it would be you publishing your own intellectual property, and then people are paying you royalties for publishing it somewhere. For instance, people can then reference you and all that stuff and all that jazz. I hope you guys understand that. So like, for instance, I am kind of busy writing a book right now so that I can be paid in royalties. Then the fifth right is rights. Actual rights. So for instance, right now I've got a bank that is currently using my voice on their videos. So they've got an academy and they use my voice. I did the voiceover work for their videos. So basically what it is that you are now giving people the right to use your intellectual property. Sometimes it's not necessarily intellectual property, sometimes it's your name, sometimes it's your image, sometimes it's your voice. Like for instance, DJ Fresh does a lot of corporate stuff where they use his voice and they pay him because they're paying him for the right to use his voice because his voice is well recognizable. Some of you guys have some deep voices. Some of you guys are the Eddie Zondis of this world, but you're not using your voices. Like, why? Some of you guys, you ladies, have beautiful faces, like faces that look like they were built in the middle of the night where nobody was watching, nobody was disturbed, while God was like so relaxed. And you guys are not using your faces, and brands are looking for faces of products, So go out there and explore ways in which you can actually use and give rights to certain aspects of your life. And then the last one is return. So basically a return is when you invest in a certain thing and you actually get a real return back. A lot of people think that they'll only get a return if they invest in things like stocks or shares or the equity market. It's not necessarily that way. There are other things in which you can invest in. For instance, venture capitalism. I always talk about the lady, a mama wasekhaya, who is working and selling fet cooks on the side of the road. That mama probably has one bucket and there's only one of her, right? So she will sell 10 buckets, or not even 10. She'll maybe sell one bucket of fet cooks every single day because that's her capacity. And maybe even financially, the capacity she doesn't have to expand. So you can go there and throw in some venture capital money and say, mama, I'm going to give you additional money so that you can have 4 corners. Hire 3 other people, and now it's no longer one bucket that we're selling a day. We're selling 4 buckets a day. So that's literally how you get your return. Your return is on something that you invest your own capital into, and then you get an actual return back. So yeah, guys, those for me. I mean, I if I look at the 7 R's, that the last one is replication, and basically this guy talks about how you can replicate software, you can replicate machinery that can do certain things, and you can get your money from there. So looking at some of these R's, I know that I'm already down for remuneration, I'm already down for rent, I'm already down for rights, I'm already down for a return. So what I need is royalty, and I need a rate. I need to sell something. So I've created a book that I'm going to sell. So that is now how I'm going to make my money from rate. So, but you must notice that 2 of those, the rate and the remuneration, are passive and they need you to be actively involved. Whereas the others, once you have set them up, they become passive income churners, whatever you can call it, or income generators. Yeah, guys, thank you. Mwah.